Just before I surrendered, my mom and dad were urgently trying to find a defense attorney. We didn't have much, but they scraped together every penny for a lawyer. He charged my parents $7,500 just to take my case. That was a mountain of money for us. Living in a cramped small apartment in Queens, it put a huge strain on my family. After a few days in central booking, I finally saw a judge. He set my bail at $250,000. I was just standing there completely shocked. I was only 16. But my lawyer didn't say a thing. Didn't even try arguing for a lower bail. My parents, desperate to get me out, went to a bail bondsman. But he told them they needed major collateral like a big house, which we obviously didn't have. So, I was stuck. I had to stay in Rikers Island for the whole court process. I guess the judge thought I was a flight risk or dangerous because of the charges. The charges were serious: attempted murder in the 2nd degree, assault in the 1st, and criminal possession of a weapon in the 4th. And because I was 16, they were trying me as an adult. Right after that hearing, they took me to Rikers. A few weeks later, at my next court date, my lawyer comes up to me and suggests I take a plea deal for 10 to 20 years. He said if we went to trial and lost, I could get 12.5 to 25. It didn't register at first. I had to ask him to repeat the numbers over and over, just to make sure I heard him right. I was expecting maybe 6 months in jail, not 10 years. In my head, what was the real difference between 10 to 20 and 12 to 25? It all sounded like a lifetime. So I told him no, I'll take my chances at trial. I spent the next 11 months at Rikers, getting shipped back and forth to the courthouse in Queens. Those were the darkest days of my life. Waking up early, getting chained up, and waiting for hours in a tiny cell just to see the judge for a few minutes. The food was awful. We got these shrink-wrapped peanut butter and jelly or bologna sandwiches for every single meal. The inmates called it the cop-out sandwich. It was so bad. It honestly made you think about taking a plea deal just so you wouldn't have to eat another one. Whenever they called my name, they'd cuff me again and march me into the courtroom. I'd hear all these legal terms and numbers that meant nothing to me. My case got delayed again and again. The judge, the DA, and my lawyer would just flip through their calendars, trying to find a day they were all free. I'd hear them say things like, "I can't do that date, I've got a fishing trip," or "I'm at a wedding that week." Meanwhile, I'm stuck on Rikers, my life on the line, and they're talking about their vacations. It made me feel like I didn't even exist. It seemed like my lawyer didn't care. Every delay just meant he could bill my parents for another court appearance. After months of this cycle, the DA finally got tired of it and offered a new deal, 7.5 to 15 years. I refused the offer, but my lawyer told me that would cost even more money for trial. My family had already paid him over $12,000. I couldn't put them through more of that. Deep down, I knew I'd probably be found guilty, but I wanted a jury to decide my fate, not the DA. After struggling with it, I caved. I accepted the plea. Sentencing day was in November 1996. I was just numb, so disappointed in myself. My family was in the courtroom, but I couldn't even look at them. They had no idea how serious it all was, what kind of sentence I was about to get. The judge, an older white man, had this pale, ghostly face that turned bright red whenever he talked. He asked me 3 questions. Did anyone force you to plead guilty? Do you waive your right to appeal? Do you have anything to say? Then he handed down the sentence. Bang, 7.5 to 15 years. Then started calling out these numbers, and that's when it finally hit me. The reality of it all. It happened so fast. All I heard was a blur of codes, the sharp bang of the gavel, and the sound of lawyers packing up their briefcases to go home. Then a court officer told me to put my hands behind my back. I glanced at my family and saw the pure pain on my mother's face. Before I could say a word, they cuffed me, then led me out a side door. 11 months of hoping and dreaming gone. It was 1996, and I wouldn't see the outside world again until 2004. My lawyer filed an appeal, but it was denied within a few months. Looking back, I should have just gone with a legal aid lawyer. My parents gave that man all their savings, and he barely said a few words for me in court. I'm not saying he robbed us. He charged so much for doing next to very little. Thank you for listening to my story. If you want to hear more about what happened next, make sure to subscribe.